In this video, I'm going to teach you the mirrored martingale strategy at roulette. One of the simplest and most effective roulette strategies. I will show you how I won £31 in a few minutes with this strategy, and I will explain the pros and cons of it, analysing whether it's really a winning system or not. So stick till the end to not lose these important tips. Welcome to Ninja Gamblers, the #1 source for quality casino content on the internet. Here you can find info, tutorials and strategies about roulette, blackjack, poker, slots and more. Explained and brought to you by the Ninjas, a group of expert gamblers. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. So I'm sure you've heard of the martingale strategy before. It's one of the most well-known methods to win at roulette, as it simply and effectively allows you to gain back any loss you encounter while playing. It is also known to be one of the most fun ways to play at roulette, as it gives you a lot of adrenaline. However, it also has some important risks to be considered, which we will talk about today. In this video, I will explain how the strategy works, I will demonstrate it with a quick play, and then I will analyse its perks and risks. As I am from the UK, I will use the UK casino playing with British pounds. However, the strategy and the analysis of the amounts, like the basic bets that I will talk about in this video, are the same with any currency, whether it's euros, dollars, rupees, or whatever else. Okay, before we start with the reverse martingale strategy, I wanted to quickly say a little note. When playing online, it's very important to play in safe and certified online casinos, as playing in unsafe ones could mean sending your money to some dodgy companies in an uncontrolled tax haven far away, and they could literally disappear overnight with all your money. It has happened, and it can happen again. Plus they could fix the games, making you lose on purpose, and no one can control their algorithms. To avoid this, it's important to play in casinos that are licensed, certified by reputable international gambling agencies. Many countries have specific additional regulations set by the local government. So in case you live in one of these countries, it's sometimes illegal to play in casinos that don't have the local certification. In the link in the description of this video, you can find an always updated list of certified online casinos in the world and in your country that we personally checked that have the required local and international licenses, together with a good reputation. On the website in the link you can also compare the best bonuses they offer, as some of them offer free spins and free money to new players. Alright guys, here we are at the roulette table. If you don't know how roulette works or the basic roulette rules, we've recently done a video about it, which you can check out in the link now visible at the top right corner. What we are going to do today is mainly use the outside bets of red and black. Every colour apart from 0 is either red or black, as you can see. So by selecting one of these two colours, what I'm practically doing is selecting nearly half of the roulette numbers minus 1. So the strategy we're going to play today is all about guessing what colour the ball will land on next. If we guess it right, we're going to double our money. So if we bet £1, we're going to win £2. Now I'm going to start with red. I choose my minimum bet, which in this case is going to be £1, as I believe it is good enough for a deposit of £50 that I currently have put in this roulette, which allows me a few doublings. So if the next number is going to be red, I win £2, an extra £1 in profit. If the number is black or 0, I lose my £1. Let's see.
$16 red, even.
The number is 16 red, so I win £2. My balance is therefore now £51, with my £1 extra gained. Now, there are a lot of variations to this roulette strategy, but the one we're going to play today is the mirrored martingale. So we are simply betting on exactly the opposite of what happened before. Since the last number was red, now we're going to bet on black, the opposite colour. We will analyse the other variations of the martingale in future videos. So now, we place a bet of £1 on black. It's the same bet amount as before, £1 since we won. Every time we win, the bet after that is the basic bet, which in my case is £1. We will see later what we do if we lose.
$26 black, even.
In this case, we won again and we got an extra £1, arriving at the balance of £52. Now, since the last number was black, we now bet on red, still £1. Okay, in this case the colour is black, so we lost. We therefore have lost the £1 bet we've just made. Now, what we're going to do is initiate the Martingale sequence. The sequence simply consists of doubling our bet each time we lose, and going on doubling until we win. In this way, once we win, we gain back everything we lost in the previous bets, sort of going back to square one, to the balance we had if we won instead of losing at the first bet. In this case, therefore, we are betting £2, and when you double, you always stay on the same colour where you just lost, so in this case red. We could just ignore the loss and carry on, but this would mean we aren't doing a Martingale strategy, but we are just betting on red and black.
13. Black.
Now, we lost again, so as I said, we rebet and we double it. And we keep doubling until we win. So £4 on red, as we keep the same colour until we win. Obviously, this clearly shows the risks of this strategy, since we double every time we lose. The amount we bet on a losing streak can go very high very quickly. We will talk about how to try and protect ourselves from that in a bit.
Red. Odd.
In our case, we just won. So what happened is that we won everything back. So we are at a balance of £53. Exactly the one we would have had if we won at the first losing bet. So this is the power of this strategy. We can recover the losses just encountered. Now, once we won, we always go back to the basic bet we have set, which in this case it's £1. Since the last colour was red, and we kept on betting on red until we won. We are now going back to mirroring, so we bet on black.
$33. Black. Odd. Player win.
We won, so we keep going with the £1 bet, this time on red.
$28. Black. Even.
Since we lost, now £2 on red.
$22. Black. Even.
We lost again, so £4 on red.
$20. Black. Even.
Lost again, so we keep doubling.
$12. Red. Even.
And we have now won.
Player win.
So we are back at £55 on the balance. So you get the gist of this strategy. You bet on the opposite colour of the last one, and you always bet the minimum bet when winning, while you double after a loss and keep doubling until you win again. At that point you go back to the minimum bet. While I keep playing, I'll tell you a bit more about this strategy. It's very simple yet very effective, and I believe that's the reason why it's so popular.
Black. Odd. Player win.
As I said, its main pro is the fact that you can easily gain back what you've lost, and this makes it very powerful in the short term. However, as I mentioned earlier, in the long term, the risk of having a losing streak gets higher and higher. The more you play, the more likely you are to find a losing streak. Now, what's a losing streak? Well, it depends on what is your balance. Your balance determines how many doublings you can afford to do. If your minimum bet is £1, like what I'm doing, with a £50 deposit like I did, you can afford about 5 consecutive doublings, and after that, you've basically lost all your deposit. Now, how likely is it to have such a streak? In general, by betting on red or black, you have about 48.6% chance of winning every single time, which means every single doubling, the chances that you lose and have to double again are about 51.4%. So the 5 consecutive doublings have a probability of about 1.84%. Therefore, if you play 100 times, in theory, in 2 of these, you'll arrive to double 5 times. In the long term, therefore, it can and it will happen. Now, how can I protect myself from this? One obvious thing to do is increase the deposit, or to lower the minimum bet. In fact, all the calculations I've done can be done with any type of minimum bet. It's obvious that if instead of using £1 as a minimum bet, I use 10 pence, then my £50 balance will allow me to do many more doublings. Or on the other side, if instead of £50 I use a deposit of £200, then I can do more doublings. But be careful, because each doubling exponentially increases the betting amount. So something else I like to do when playing the Martingale systems is to have a stop loss. A stop loss is a point where you decide to stop doubling and you accept the loss, without trying to run after a win forever. For example, in this case my stop loss is £50. The initial balance. If I have to bet over £50, I stop, accept that this bet is on a loss, and hope that the next one will be a winning one. It's better to lose £50 every now and then than keep doubling and arriving at having to bet astronomical numbers, right? And obviously, it's always important to play safe, and only what you can afford to lose. Okay, I'll keep playing for a little longer following this exact strategy I just explained. I'll speed up this video, otherwise it'll get a bit too long. Let's see how much I can win, or if I lose. See you soon. Alright guys, here we are after a few minutes of playing. As you can see from the sped up video, I had a good game with only 1 or 2 bad streaks, and my current balance is now £81. So I won £31 in a few minutes. Not a bad day. Obviously, this win is not a representation of how this game always goes. It can go better or worse. So this was the mirrored Martingale strategy for Roulette. What did you think about it? Personally, I think it's a great strategy to have some quick fun, as it is simple and easy to follow, but in the long term, it has a little bit too much risk to have a losing streak for my liking. I prefer having Martingale variations that have an initial bet that has less than 48% chance to win, so we have to go to less to do doublings. I'll explain these variations over the next videos on this channel, so if you haven't yet, please subscribe to not miss out on the new videos. I remind you that in the link in the description of this video, you can find the list of safe and certified casinos in your country, where you can also find a comparison of bonuses, as some of these casinos offer free money or free spins to new players. You can check out all the info in the link. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. One important disclaimer before we finish: gambling is illegal if you're under 18 and can cause addiction. If you do want to play, please gamble responsibly and only bet what you can afford to lose. No casino strategy or game has a 100% success rate, so you can always lose all your money. Please see gambling as a pastime, not as a way to make money, and when the fun stops, please stop. Online casinos usually have tools to help you stay in control, such as deposit limits. To find out more about the best practices of safe gambling, you can read our guide on our website. If you think you're not in control of your gambling, please seek help immediately. You can do so at www.begambleaware.org. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. See you soon, ninjas!